At the beginning of the story, we see a boy named Matthew, who was very good in studies, but despite being so smart, he was very boring, due to which no girl in the college took interest in him. This was Matthew's last year, and he was preparing to get scholarship for his higher education. But Matthew was not happy with them, because till date, he had not done anything which he could remember later, and he spent his whole life in studying. So one day, Matthew decides that from now on, he will do the same things that his friends were doing, like impressing girls and having fun. Meanwhile, a very beautiful girl named Danielle comes to live next to Matthew's house. She was so beautiful that she looked no less than a supermodel. Matthew was talking on the phone at night, and then his eyes fell on Daniel's window, who was changing his clothes. Seeing this, Daniel became very excited and starts looking at him secretly. But then Daniel sees Matthew looking at her and comes straight to his house. Then Daniel's dad calls him down, hearing which he gets a little nervous. Now Matthew comes down scared, but then his dad. He's told that Danielle has not come to this city, and she does not know anything about it, so you help her and go with her. Further, while both of them were going together, Danielle asks Matthew that you should see me without clothes. How did you feel seeing him? On which he tells Matthew that you are very beautiful. Now Daniel gets angry after hearing this and says to Matthew that now you also take off your clothes quickly. Now Daniel forcefully takes off all the clothes of Matthew, and when he becomes completely naked, Danielle takes him out of the car and runs away with his clothes. But after a while, Danielle comes back and tells Matthew that she was just joking with him, after which they both get together. They sit and talk, and a very good friendship develops between them. The next day, when Matthew was studying in the class, Danielle comes there and calls him out of the class, after which both of them go away from there to have fun. And after spending the whole night together, in the evening, both of them secretly go to someone's swimming pool and take bath. Then they both were about to kiss there, but then I realized that this pool belongs to her principal, so they run away from there. After this, both of them go to a party of Matthew's friend, where all Matthew's friends get scared after seeing Daniel, and they start trying to impress Daniel, but this time, Matthew has decided. He was sure that he will make Daniel his girlfriend, so he goes to Daniel and kisses him in front of everyone. Now, after kissing Daniel, Matthew was feeling like he is the playboy of the entire school. But only then, one of his friends comes near him and tells him that brother, whom you think is Mian Kumari, is actually Mian Khalifa, and people lose their temper after watching its videos. Now on hearing this, Matthew's heart breaks, and he gets disappointed and leaves from there. He starts to leave, but then his friend tells him that if she is an adult star, then so what? You should take advantage of this thing and you can do whatever you want with her. Now hearing this, Matthew goes straight to Daniel, who is sitting with her mother. She was looking at her childhood photos. Here Matthew tells Daniel that, come, I will take you to the city of stars, after which both of them go to Oyo together, where Matthew asks Daniel to take off his clothes. Daniel had understood what Matthew wanted from her, on which Daniel told her that you are misunderstanding me. I have long since stopped doing all this work. Earlier, I used to get intimate with anyone, but now I am like that. She doesn't do anything. And after saying this, she gets angry with Matthew and goes away from there. Then the next day, Matthew, without taking bath, goes to Daniel to apologize to him. But during this time, he meets another man there whose name was Kelly. Then Matthew asks Kelly, how do you know Daniel? On which Kelly tells him that I am Daniel's producer and also her ex-boyfriend. Then the next day, when Matthew was going to college, he sees Kelly flirting with girls there. While doing this, Kelly sees Matthew there and he starts praising Matthew in front of those girls. After this, Matthew goes to the bank with Kelly, where he tells them that Kelly is a student advisor. On the other hand, we see Daniel. She was feeling guilty that she can never change or live a normal life, so she goes back to Las Vegas to be with Kelly. Now Matthew also started falling in love with Daniel, so he decides that he will bring Daniel back, and with this, he leaves for Las Vegas with his friends. After reaching there, Matthew sees that Daniel was dancing in front of everyone without clothes. He explains to her that, you don't need to do all this. But then Kelly comes there and takes Matthew with her and starts threatening him. She says to Matthew, why are you stopping Danielle from working if she won't do all this? So how do I earn? Now, even after all the bullying by Kelly, Matthew goes back to Daniel and explains to him that you should not do all this because you deserve a better life than this. Then the next day when Matthew is at his house, there Daniel comes to pick him up for his college. Then on the way to college, Matthew asks Daniel to go to the prom with him, to which Daniel also says yes. We see that today was a very important day for Matthew because if today he passes his scholarship exam, then he can go to a big college for higher studies. But then during the exam, Kelly comes there and he picks up Matthew and takes him away because Matthew had taken Daniel away from there. After causing harm to Carr, Kelly beats him badly, and after venting out all his anger, he drugs Matthew and sends him to the house of a man named Hugo and asks him to steal his trophy. Later, when Matthew goes to Hugo's house, when he goes to steal, Kelly calls the police from behind, due to which the police reaches there to arrest him. But then Matthew's friend comes there and saves him and takes him with him. After this, Matthew and Daniel go to college. They go to give a scholarship speech where Matthew starts getting intoxicated with drugs and starts talking nonsense in front of everyone, due to which he does not get the scholarship. After this, when Matthew goes to the bank, he comes to know. It is said that the $25,000 fund he had raised for Cambodian students was taken out by Kelly as a student advisor. Now Matthew gets shocked after hearing this, and he tells this to his friend and Daniel, after which all these people together they make a plan to teach Callie a lesson. Then Matthew and Daniel both go to Hugo, who was a producer like Callie. Here Matthew tells everything to Hugo and also returns his trophy to him. He says that if you give us $25,000, we will make the world's best video and give it to you. Now on hearing this, Hugo becomes happy and he agrees to give them the money. Now everyone starts working together to make the video but Danielle also calls some of her old friends who are also adult stars like her. After this, they go to the prom where everyone was watching them. Then Matthew's classmate comes there and tells him that these girls are adult stars, on which Matthew asks them if they would like to work with him. And hearing this, his friends become happy and say yes to him, after which all of them together shoot the video the same night and the next night. One day, when Matthew was going to his home, he gets a call from his friend, and he tells him that someone has stolen our video, and the thief is none other than Kelly. Kelly threatens Matthew that he will be punished for this. He wants half of the video's earnings, and if he doesn't do it, he will show it to Steph's principal and parents. But Matthew refuses, and then Callie shows the tape to everyone. But when the video starts, we see. It is said that there is just a sex education class in it, after seeing which everyone praises Matthew a lot. And then this tape is released officially, after which this tape becomes a bestseller in no time. Now Matthew has a lot of fans. The money comes with which he pays his university fees and also gives a scholarship to that Cambodian student. Then Matthew buys a car for himself with the remaining money, and he also gives an expensive gift to Callie so that friendship develops between the two. In the end, we see that Matthew and Daniel also start living happily together, and friends. With this, the story ends here.